Welcome to Factorio Space Exploration. My name is Nilos, and this is a streamed recap of day 37 of our Let's Play campaign. Okay, so now that I'm reviewing what I did, it doesn't seem like much, which is kind of ironic because I did feel that I was really productive. So a lot of the things that we did was actually kind of hidden. And there was also a lot of contemplation involved, which I think is important in a long-running series as this, so that we make sure that we are on track, on target. A lot of what we've been doing was messing with the science, and let's actually just go. No, let's start from the beginning. Start from the beginning, which is no. Let's start with where we are. That's easier. You can see some new blobs here, and that's basically one of the main points that I did. It took a while to create, but I think it's very, very valuable. All right, so what happens is that this part here, this is the biological space science. It has a tendency to consume quite a bit of the biosludge here, and I'm bringing in biosludge, and you can see here it's used. Okay, this one is the cleaning process, but it's used for this one. Whoa, meteors incoming. Used here, used in that one, used in that one. It doesn't seem like much, but it actually adds up to quite a bit, especially because when it goes into some of them, like this one, it comes out as not contaminated biosludge, but as contaminated cosmic water, which means it kind of falls out of the biosludge loop. Biosludge loop is pretty much this one. It's just basically going from biosludge to polluted biosludge, and then it can be at 99% recovered. And yeah, so that's not really possible. So I was running out. The way I was handling this was through this one. This one was just churning along like crazy, consuming quite a bit of wood. And I was like, yeah, whatever, wood's fine. But actually, when I started looking at it, we can see that over the last 10 hours, that means like 2.5 streams, I've used 66,000 wood, and you can see how much it spikes. So this is basically, when it is available, it consumes 360 wood per minute, and then it just doesn't have any more available. Then it goes up and consumes it, and you can see here, it stops. And I had to break out of that cycle because there's just not enough wood on Novice. I know there's something you can see here that is interesting, and I can't keep expanding just to farm wood. That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So I had to come up with another idea. Now someone, I don't know who it was, in chat told me there is a positive feedback loop. So I had this like, all right, fine, there is a puzzle to solve. I need to solve it. So I went into here. This is what actually took a bit of time, and I'll walk through it. There are certain different ways. For example, the fish, you can take the fish and you can make them into sludge. You can use the sludge to make nutrient gel, and nutrient gel you can make into nutrient vats plus more biosludge plus the genetic data becomes bioculture, which you can then get back into fishies. This loop here doesn't really provide much. So the other one is this one, microgravity wood growth. It's kind of the same, except you can see it produces 2,500 polluted cosmic water. That means you're basically taking your biosludge and converting it into cosmic water, which is a really bad deal. So don't do it unless you, cosmic water is cheap as dirt, so don't do that. So I kept looking, and I found this one. No, I didn't. Which one did I find? This one. Yeah, one biomass becomes 250 biosludge, and I was like, yeah, I think we got something here. All right. So if we can make the biomass, okay, that comes from bioculture plus some nutrient gel. Bioculture, it comes from nutrient vats and more biosludge. But the thing is, each one biomass comes from one bioculture. One bioculture is only 100 sludge, but each biomass gives 250 sludge. So that seems to be plus the 400 polluted here. That's another pretty nice gain. So this one is basically yielding 2,900 biosludge. The output from this one. So the question is, does it take more than 2,900 biosludge to go in? And the answer is a big fat no. So then it was a matter of building it to scale, and the loop goes basically, we take some biosludge, make it in here, and we produce some nutrient gel. So it takes 400 for each 1,000 in it takes 200. Boom, there goes the robot. It takes basically, the easiest way to say it is 40% of the nutrient gel is actually biosludge. There we go, that's the easy way. And we go in here and say, yeah, okay, this needs 100. So basically it means it's 40 biosludge. I only count the biosludge because iron is just free of charge. I can just airlift it. So that's 40 going in here. And this one is taking another 1,000 of these for 10, but let's divide it by 10 just to make it simpler than on a 10-second cycle. This is another 40. So, I mean, like, okay, 40, that's 80. That's pretty good just for each one of these crafts. This one takes a bit, but yeah, it's another 1K. Yeah, but again, divide by 10 because I want it per one unit. And that's another 100. Okay, so we got 180 for each one unit going through. And that's like, okay, well, if I'm using 180, but I get more than 200 outbound here, then that's a pretty fair deal, right? That's a pretty good deal. This one even outputs 400 polluted, so that goes back. That actually subtracts from these 400. The 400 polluted is actually the 400 biosludge that goes into the nutrient gel. So this was neutral in terms of biosludge. So I'm basically taking 140 in and getting 250 out coming here. And yes, it does need a bit of cosmic water, but cosmic water is dirt cheap. It needs a bit of coal, a bit of chemical gel, cosmic water again, some iron, and one of these are basically one of these per 10 crafts. And each of these is crafted somewhere else. So just looking at it, it's like, all right, this is a nice positive feedback loop. So designing it in a 2x2 grid, so it would be scalable. Simply put, this is doing all the magic. I have scaled it up so that this one is operating at crafting speed 3. It means on a 10-second cycle, it produces 3 of these. Ignore this. This is always faster. And this one is also crafting speed 3. And that means it can consume exactly. So these two are synchronized, and they're the ones that govern. All the other machines are faster. So this unit produces 3 cycles every 10 seconds, and each cycle is generating pretty much 110 biosludge. So I get 130 biosludge out of this one per 10 seconds, 33 per second. It's not much, but it's free. Free as in, yeah, there is no free lunch. So this is operational. Once I did one of them, it's just a matter of stamping it down. So if this was 33 for each, then I'm getting, let's call it 150 per second from this. And all it costs is a bit of iron, a bit of coal, a bit of water. Those are really cheap things, right? And that has totally helped us. It took a while to do it, but if you look at it, this is honestly very, very crisp. And now what this is doing here, this is basically making sure that the pipes are full and only starts extracting, putting barrels in here when this one, all right, so this, what happens is, this one will only run when it gets empty barrels. It gets empty barrels only when this content of this buffer box is more than 5,000. Now it won't be able to output these when the total amount of biosludge barrels is 2,000. That's 10,000. That's 100,000 biosludge in storage. Pretty good. So a lot of the things in space exploration is you just build something small and let it run. And that helps a lot. So that was one thing. Then what I had to do, because I'm kind of structuring this is my craft something, and then I'm going to build science out here. So I had to also do some changes out here to the science. One of the things that I had to change, because this just was a redesign. The roboports here got in the way. Look at that. I'm cheating. I'm not cheating. I'm just wasting roboports, to be honest. And now I'm removing it in a local copy, which makes no sense because it's not going to be removed on my when I'm playing on the map view. So if we look at this, we can see that unfortunately, as you can see here, it's just not keeping up. This one is the culprit. I'm just not getting enough biosludge. The reason is, and let's go in here. This is always like the most difficult part to do, but it is extremely rewarding to take a look at. Come on, come on, come on. There. This one operating at 12 per minute. That is exactly 2 units of 1 per 10 second. Up here, exactly 12, exactly 12. And 11.7, there is some randomness in the astronomics, but boy am I happy to see this. This is exactly what I wanted to be. Completely aligned. So I built 2 of these. That means I can start scaling up this part or actually make it higher tech if I feel like it. And I do feel like it. That's going to be something we're going to do upcoming. So I wanted to take a look at my spaceship. This is not the spaceship. This is just a figuring out how to do integrity checks on spaceships. And they was like, well, I'm not going to be going there if... Where am I going? Why am I going somewhere? And by that, I realized that I only had like Galvania and Navis available. That didn't really make sense. So I started launching satellites, and you can see we have a lot of interesting new locations. So we get these, and I'm just going to show some of the interesting things here about these locations. Let's take Alpharend. It's an interesting one. It says, for example, the day-night cycle is almost 1 hour. That means you're going to be hard-pressed to use solar panels because there'll be a hell of a lot of storage to be put into accumulators to run. Although, given that there are no life signs, the robot interference means that robots are going to just absolutely crash. Do not even consider using this robots on this planet. But let's have a look at it. This is what it looks like. This is the entirety of it. I can explore it with a satellite, and you can see here it is extremely iron heavy. This is very interesting for us if we want more iron. Currently I'm not running out of iron, so what's the point? But strip mining this one could be very interesting. Also have a bit of uranium here. Also, honestly, there is also a bit of copper, but I'm not going to be interested in copper. Other things that are interesting, this one, you can see we finally find some methane ice. This only exists on asteroid fields. You can see here, that's a nice big juicy thing there. And how much was it? It's 2 point? No, that's stone. Ooh, that's not interesting. That's interesting. Methane ice and methane ice. Okay, methane ice. So the thing is with the methane ice, I was like looking at it and yeah, look at this. So we get methane ice. This can be used to 2 things. Stacking. Oh, it basically can be used for 1 thing, and that's making it into methane gas. Methane gas can be used for 2 things, either making nutrient gel, which I don't get the point of it. Look at this one. It's 500 methane gas versus 1 coal. Look, it's actually even worse. Look at this one. 500 plus 50. 200, 200 are the same. Versus 1 plus this. So methane ice would have to be a hell of a lot cheaper to even consider doing this, which I'm not. This one. Continue. The other thing that we can do is this one, which I think is interesting. It takes 1000 biosludge in and gets this one out plus that one. So basically this process loses 100 biosludge. However, it takes 10,000 methane gas, which is equivalent to 100 ore that is mined, methane ice, and gives us crude oil. So this is space crude oil. Basically methane gas is space crude oil. Very interesting, and I might actually do that since oil is of interest. So I can make oil with the methane gas. Very interesting. We got Ithmir. This is a shithole. Look at the life signs. No robot interference. That's very nice. But if we look at it, I have not explored it. It's a planet. It's not a moon. So planet, they're bigger. I'm not going to be exploring it because, oh my god, this is horrible. Novus is life sign 0. That's actually odd. But Izmir is really interesting because it has moons. Look at these. This Simiel is 0 life forms, and it has a lot of copper ore. And actually not that much because it's a small moon, but it has a lot of things to be strip mined. So it could be worth going there eventually. Nestor is kind of jammed with disgusting biters all over the place, and it is a stone planet. Again, I'm not so impressed by the amount of stone we have here compared to the iron we have on Alfred. 29, yeah, I mean, it would be nice, but do we really need stone? I don't know. And Saphis is a beautiful planet. Look at that, beautiful planet. The issue though on this one, and that does not really become obvious immediately, there's no stone. That means you cannot landfill. If you cannot landfill, you're stuck with these odd shapes. Now this one, Saphis, is a coal location, but I'm not like blown away by the amount of coal that we have here. The biter, it's actually nothing. It's really just a desolate little planet. Look at how small this is. That's a bit of stone. Yay. Doesn't do much. There's actually a bit of stone here, but 34,000 is nothing. Yeah, so I don't see ever going to a planet like this, even though it's nice. It's nice. You can go there just to clear out the biters. Like Galvania, we got a Calidus asteroid field too. Just looking at it, we got a lot of methane ice, 17 million. So we might want to go there. I don't know. There's no radiations. There's less radiation than on Nauvis, or Nauvis orbit for that matter. No, it's less than on Nauvis. Oh, right. Okay, there's also orbits around these. Oh, I haven't even considered that. They're probably just... Oh, any orbit. Hey, there's a thing. So... And also this asteroid field. So we have tons of options. However, this is one of the things that I was contemplating is why. Because if let's take the best case example. Alfred. Very interesting. Come on. Very interesting planet. Tons and tons of iron. If you go there, we can just make, yeah, hundreds of millions of iron readily available. No biters. Awesome. Belting it all, putting it into rockets and flying off. And then it's like, oh, hold on a minute. Yeah, building it into rockets, it's fine, but how are we going to launch the rockets? We actually need, in order to launch rockets, we need to build rockets. That means I either have to bring stuff to this planet in order to build rockets, and and that means both in terms of fuel and in terms of all of the components, because remember, a cargo rocket is expensive. We can bring a rocket silo and bring a landing pad with us, that's fine. But what we need is the cargo rocket segment. We need 100 of these. So you can look at how expensive this actually is. Granted, we are getting some of it back. That's nice. Oh, come on. Nauvis orbit. Oh, okay, that was just a crashing. I think that's fine. So if we look at the cargo rocket segment, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. That was a long time coming, that one. Yeah, so we need cargo pods. Yes. There. Those will be recovered. Cargo rocket fuel tanks. Those do not tend to be recovered, do they? I don't think so. So that needs to be crafted or brought in as well. Or basically what I'm going to bring in is cargo rocket segments. So I'm going to build cargo rocket segments. And I'm going to bring a lot of, where are you? Rocket fuel, because that can make liquid rocket fuel. And that's what we need. So launching a rocket, we can do that from, I'm going to just take a look at it. Maybe it's not actually as bad as I'm making out to be. So if we look at this one, for example, we need one capsule. We can bring that. We need 100 segments. We can bring that. We can do the rocket fuel. Oh, it's less rocket fuel now. That's interesting. I thought it was 64. But does that change lately? Anyway, 50,000. That's fine. We can bring these things quite easily. However, we have to bring it continuously. And that's the interesting thing about it, right? But then it can bring another 500 back to that location. Okay, so we're going to bring some of this plus a lot of crafting materials to a planet, and we can set this up. But we're going to have to get a continuous supply of stuff there, right? The question is also, should I be launching, and now I'm getting maybe, should I be launching, okay, here. Should I be launching from Nauvis to Alpharend or from Nauvis orbit? I think I'll be launching from Nauvis to Alpharend and then bring it back to Nauvis. That's going to be easy to do. We could do that. I think we'll do that just for the hell of it. And then I can do use my spaceship, maybe a bit better spaceship. Anyway, what I want to do next time is actually take the, basically if you look at this, a lot of things require the orange, the material science. The material science is the stuff that requires concrete. And I want to limit the amount of concrete that we spend. That one, just this one. It's not much, but it's a continuous drain. And I want to do that by getting more advanced there, by using this one, the broad material catalog. This means I take one material catalog, which usually gives one insight, and then I add these 4 other data to it, and then I suddenly get a broad material catalog, which gives me 3 insights. That's a pretty big gain here. And these are dirt cheap. Look how cheap this is. Just material testing pack and a blank data. Same. And then just some random crap that's easy. That means we need to bring electronic circuits to orbit. And storage tank. Like what? Why? This is so easy. Cosmic water looks like a lot, but most of it is coming back. I love this one. Pressure containment data. Anyway, so I tried to do this one a bit more in depth, just to explain my thoughts and make it not so superficial about I built this, I built that, I built that. So we're continuing next time. We're going to be designing some more advanced space material science, and we're going to start preparing a launch from here into building a little spaceship and launching onto Alpharend so we can set things up from there. Good. I think that's going to be it. I've run a bit over time. Look how busy the base is. That's lovely to see. Thank you very much for joining. Hope you enjoyed this bit extended recap. Let me know if you like the extended recaps or you want to keep it shorter, more towards the 10-15 minutes rather than towards the 20+ minutes. Thank you for joining. Hope to see you on the next stream. And as always, stay effective.